Hello, and welcome to Guns and Gear, Idaho's premier indoor shooting range and training facility. At Guns and Gear, your safety is always our first priority. Whether you're trying out one of our exotic gun rentals for the first time or operating one of your own trusted weapons, we ask that you watch this presentation closely as we cover our range rules and other expectations here at our facility. To begin, everyone must always follow the 4 fundamental rules of firearm safety at all times. Always treat your firearm as if it is loaded. Always keep the muzzle pointed in a safe direction. Always keep your finger off the trigger and outside of the trigger guard until you are on target and ready to fire. And always be aware of your surroundings, especially what is in front and behind your target. Once on the range, the following procedures must be followed at all times. If you hear the command, cease fire, immediately remove your finger from the trigger, safely unload your firearm, lock open your action, and lay your firearms down. Step back from the firing line and await instruction from the range safety officer. When you hear the command, all clear, the shooter may reapproach the firing line. If you observe any unsafe condition, notify the range officer immediately. All firearms that enter the facility must be unloaded, actions locked open or magazines removed, and inside a case or holstered. All licensed concealed carry firearms must remain concealed at all times unless they are being used in the range at a booth. All firearms and ammunition must be disclosed and are subject to inspection. All ammunition shot on the range must be manufactured first or remanufactured ammunition. No home-brewed or reloaded ammunition is allowed on the range. Absolutely no incendiary, tracer, armor-piercing, frangible, BBs, steel core, steel shot, bird shot, and no black powder. Guns and Gear's firearm rentals may only use Guns and Gear ammunition. Breaking rule number 4 and using restricted rounds on the range can damage or cause a fire in the rubber berm. Using these types of rounds puts the facility at risk and will be considered an act of arson. Eye and ear protection must be worn prior to entering the range and must remain in place at all times. When entering the range through the vestibule, only allow one door open at a time. Absolutely no food or drink is allowed in the range, and we suggest you wash your hands immediately after shooting. Any person with a medical disability must notify the range safety officer so that we can accommodate or assist you and prevent any unsafe conditions. Pregnant women are not allowed in the range area. Persons under the age of 18 must be accompanied by an adult 21 years or older at all times. Minimum age to use the facility is 9 years old. Double ear protection is recommended for children. Make sure the firearm you're using is safe to operate and know and understand the operating mechanisms and safety features of your firearm. If something is unfamiliar to you, ask a staff member for help before entering the range. Uncase and case each firearm inside the booth. You are welcome to store cases in the ready area while you shoot. Before casing the firearm, please make sure that it is unloaded and the action is locked open. Only one shooter is allowed to shoot in the booth at a time, with the exception of shooters under 18, which must be supervised at the booth. All additional people in your party should wait in the ready area until it is their turn. Keep all firearms in your assigned booth, and do not exchange firearms with another lane. Switch shooters instead. Always unload and lock open the action before you change shooters, and never hand someone a loaded firearm. Never go forward of the firing line, and always keep the firearm pointed downrange even when you set it down. If you have a dropped target, magazine, firearm, or ammunition, notify the range safety officer. Load and unload firearms inside the booths only while pointing the firearm downrange. Never load or unload in the ready area. Do not insert magazines into firearms or ammunition into a revolver until the firearm is inside the booth and pointed downrange. Magazines can be loaded in the ready area and brought to the firing line. Ammunition, magazines, range bags, and other gear should be kept in the ready area. Make sure that the angle of your shooting does not allow your round to impact the ceiling, floor, or side walls. Targets must be placed at eye level to ensure shots hit the bullet trap. No cross-lane shooting. Shooters at Guns and Gear discretion will be held financially responsible for any damage they cause to the range and/or equipment, regardless of intent. Controlled double tap, rapid firing, and full automatic firing is permitted, but must be done safely and responsibly. The shooter's ability will be observed, and continued practice will be at the sole discretion of the range safety officer. Do not draw from holster or reholster handguns on the range. Shooters must be draw from holster certified by Guns and Gear. Shooting positions must be standard. If shooter wishes to shoot from different tactical positions, they must be tactical shooting certified by Guns and Gear. No cross draw or shoulder holster draw permitted. If any firearm or ammunition problem occurs, keep the firearm pointed downrange, remain in your booth, and signal a range safety officer for assistance by raising your non-shooting hand. Do not clean or disassemble firearms on the range, in the retail area, or in our parking lot. Guns and Gear is not responsible for lost parts. No one shall be under the influence of alcohol or drugs, including prescription drugs that may alter one's behavior while shooting at the range. Any person that appears to be intoxicated, under the influence, or otherwise appears to be in a condition that would render them unsafe to handle and shoot a firearm will not be allowed to use the range and will be asked to leave. Do not use cell phones, cameras, or music devices while operating firearms on the range, and do not create any type of distraction that can cause a safety issue. If you are shooting more than one firearm, please use only one at a time. Unload and lock open the action, then case the firearm and ammunition before you uncase the second firearm. If you wish to practice tactical engagements with multiple firearms, cowboy action, or 3-gun type shooting, please consult a range safety officer first. Shooters may collect their own brass behind the firing line only after they have unloaded, locked open the action, cased the firearm, and are ready to leave the range. Fallen brass will be periodically pushed forward of the firing line to prevent falling hazards, and once past the firing line, brass cannot be retrieved. Failure to abide by any of these rules or to act in a safe manner while on the range may result in you and/or your party being dismissed from the range. Violations may result in cancellation of membership and/or expulsion from Guns and Gear. Now, remain safe and enjoy your time at Idaho's premier indoor shooting range and training facility.